does well is block something unsafe and punish with a devastating amount of damage. And against Sleeping Lion, I don't think that's a terrible way of doing it, but it looks like Sleeping Lion has actually changed variation. Yeah, oh, okay. So he's gone for the Buzzsaw. This is a unique form of Kung Lao, you know, new to Ultimate thanks to this Buzzsaw attack. We don't see as much of it competitively, but it's very strong indeed. The Spawn has his own answers for it. The question is, will we see them here? As we see this on the 1+ for the Charging Hell Spawn, the low gun. How are we going to see this matchup go? Because now we're seeing Sleeping Lion without the orbiting hat. Those risks are completely different.
And that backwind interrupt on the Buzzsaw was really nice as well. I feel like this is a very matchup-dependent pick because we do know that Spawn can use the Unholy Veil, the back forward 2 to soak through the Buzzsaw and get the 3-4 just outside of that as well to trigger the KB. So I wonder if he's trying that. You see it procced right there, but didn't quite work out for him.
He's trying it. Now, I'm actually really curious about this matchup. Sleeping Lion picking Buzzsaw into Spawn. Spawn is one of the characters that has such a good answer versus it on block, but I think this is the real thing. It's the Buzzsaw in the neutral that might be the problem. Ooh, hello,
yeah,
that's up
sure.
into the guaranteed chip.
And Sleeping Lion, honestly, just kind of doing what he needs to do, just make Spawn chase you when you have the health lead. I mean, because yeah, it's like you were saying, just on block, it's really the threatening. Like Spawn can blow you up if you're gonna try and take your turn using the Buzzsaw. But if you're just using it in the neutral, it seems to be pretty overwhelming to deal with.
Oh, clean anti-air, but didn't have the bar to pick up anything more from it, unfortunately. This is also a lot less meter-intensive version of the orbiting hat, so Sleeping Lion is going to have more breakaways than usual. He's going to be able to keep himself safer, and those risks that he takes, he will actually have more breakaways than usual. Oh, speaking of which,
I was just about to say. Right, dropping the final hit in the combo, not going to lose too much, but a dive kick clean over the Necroblast. Going to set up the Buzzsaw on the corner, but the back one interruption blowing straight through it with a Hail Mary fatal blow. Not going to work out.
But a breakaway from Sleeping Lion. Bold one to be sure, but he's making it work. He still has the corner. Fatal blow has come back. Oh, and down for the blast chip. Oh no, not gonna need it. The low gunshot, a deceiving amount of chip damage on it, but it hits multiple times to chew through any form of blast break he might have.
Yep, okay. And I think that was a pretty favorable trade for Val right there, but he does still have his back in the corner and trying to deal with Lao over here. Might not be the most, the best situation you could really hope for, but if he catches in that forward throw, things could be completely changed around.
But the scary thing about Buzzsaw in the corner as well, though, is he does, he's still kind of tricky to punish, but he does get big damage extensions. Oh, speaking of damage, crushing blow uppercut from out of nowhere. The Sleeping Lion special, big lead, big confidence. That's coming in, but already Val. Not the first time he's gone for the Spawn today, and unfortunately for him, not the first time it hasn't quite worked out either. Val definitely known for being much more of that kind of Sindel specialist through and through. We do talk all the time whenever we're seeing tournaments that Val is present in, very much built around Sindel exclusively. So to see him not only not playing Sindel, but Spawn of all characters. We saw Jade earlier as well. Like Val really is trying other characters today. I do wonder how long these characters have kind of been in the pocket, whether they're like new pickups to try and deal with certain things. Unfortunately, it's not quite working out so far.
It's a really interesting talking point because, like, we only really have seen him on Sonya, but sorry, on Sindel, but you very well could have just had like these other characters just cooking in the background, right? That were never really publicly displayed in a competitive setting. But I think that the Spawn idea, like in this matchup specifically, is a good idea to have. But I'm sort of questioning the necessity of Blaze of Glory. As I feel like you don't really particularly need it, but I suppose it's really just a playstyle preference.
Yeah, I feel like the bulk of this is going to be the Charging Hell Spawn. Like no one was picking the one for the glide, you know what I mean? Like it really was about that big launcher, big damage, and it's a question of what can you put with it to either make the playstyle that you want or make the matchup make more sense. In this case, we've got that low guns, we'll have that parry that should in theory work against the down 3 at least, but we don't really know. Big punish. And there's another breakaway. Actually looks like Val hasn't been able to get a substantial hit so far. Sleeping Lion, okay. Spending the fatal blow to start this comeback to get the side switch of the 1-2-1 first. But never mind, he side switches with his fatal blows, so he's actually going to lose it again. He has 1 bar.
Oh, the cheeky cancel as well on the low gunshot. getting away with that one. Now Val in a really good position to try and close out the round, but Sleeps Like Lion, he's down on that fatal blow, but he does still have some KBs he could cash out on. One good situation could be all he needs.
Oh, empty jump forward four. This is what I mean. When I say that Sleeping Lion has this unique style, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He just plays from the gut feeling. If he feels like it's going to work, he's going to do it. And it worked. That was a full comeback from Sleeping Lion. But I do think you have a point. I think the Blaze of Glory, we're not really seeing it make too much of a difference here right now. You know, like, it definitely is going to give you elements of, like, I don't want to say mix up, because, like, back one low gun, back one two, like, it's fuzzyable. It's not an overhead low for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, if anything, it might give you more fireballs on bar. Because where you would normally want to crouch fireball, you might not be able to crouch the gun. The question is that another thing that you can react to or not?
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. But over here, Sleeps Like Lion, honestly, just establishing as much corner pressure as he needs to. Jumps himself into the corner, though. Trying to challenge on the +2, but right now, he is holding all of the pressure. Val with a pretty good health lead and one more hit. Well, a successful hit confirmed could just be the end of him. Doesn't go into the charging health spawn.
Oh, okay. No, I like that. So Val has been cancelling so many of these charges that, you know, just counts into dash up grab. That now the counts into dash up mid to blow up the throw tech. That was really smart. Ooh, and a jump back. Again, those reactionary dive kicks.
Right,
oh, the counter hit confirmed.
Yeah, definitely cashing out on that. You want to keep that one. In this situation, when you're in last round, it's really important to have that nice little 30% on the counter hit. Especially to get the life lead too, when Val is quite starved on bar. Just to establish that life lead, keep it going. Have time to build it back to maybe plus frames. Oh, plus frames challenge with that forward one. Now Val, no commitment from Val. That's been a big... Oh no, but no bar to confirm either. Sleeping Lion has all the confidence, but none of the resources. Oh, that was overcommitment. Definitely a risky call when you've already spent that KB, but the trip guard and Sleeping Lion just wasn't blocking over there. That wasn't a counter or a punish.
Yeah, I might
got killed by the fatal blow.
You didn't see a counter hit or punish or anything, so Sleeping Lion, that was an empty jump. They just got hit by a fatal blow, so I don't know what he was trying. Maybe he did like an empty jump neutral duck or something like that, but regardless, yeah, grenade to the face, fatal blow is going to seal it. Sitting on that throne is the King of Hell right here. Spawn. That always reminds me of the you know, Quan Chi's chair in MK Mythologies. Or is this too niche? It's like cool chair.
MK Mythologies is one of the few MK games I haven't played.
I feel like you're not alone in that. But regardless, though, the important thing is the fact that we are one game apiece. We are tied up now. As Val with the spawn pick. Okay, but also immediately swapping to Nightwolf with Sleeping Lion. So I feel like there must be a lot of prior knowledge here between these two players. Because Sleeping Lion normally only swaps onto the Nightwolf under like extreme circumstances. But this is only after one loss. He won the first game.
He did, and I kind of feel like maybe the Kung Lao pick to start things off was to kind of test the waters and maybe do what he did, which was just get the first win, and then, you know, if you lose, you can switch, because then you have the point lead. And I think this matchup definitely favors Nightwolf, honestly. It's just really easy to play the runaway game with Lightning Arrow and Reflect the Necroblast, and just play outside of Standing 3. So it can be pretty difficult for Spawn in a sense, but if Val obviously, you know, gets a couple good hits, that's all he really needs in a matchup is a couple good confirms, and then he's destroying pretty much your entire health bar.
Now, the thing that has me concerned, though, is if Nightwolf can play the matchup well by being patient and playing the runaway game, making the most of that range advantage with Lightning Arrow, making most of those reflect, I don't know if that's a style that Sleeping Lion will bring to the table. I feel like he's a very aggressive player. I don't think he really want to play that way. So I think he's going to regard it to be a lot more up and close. And there we go, big confirm.
Going to cash out on the optimal damage right there. 318 on the bar.
Oh, dash up grab. Yeah, back throw regardless.
Well, it's definitely meant to be a run card.
Oh! Yeah, and he got one there with the Amplify on the end, just for good measure.
Fight.
I feel like he's exceptionally lucky the Amplified hit actually connect, because that was not chipping. There was still a defensive bar. So he got pretty lucky that Val was now blocking over there.
Maybe just
Alright, the cancel.
I'm pretty sure that's no dead, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. The back roll, just for safety. Back roll does tend to be the safer wake-up option if you're trying to get away from Nightwolf pressure. Oh, finishes the string.
Yeah, it was unsafe. Val didn't find the punish. Sleep Cycling unfortunately dropped the combo in the corner. And mirrorless confirm can be a bit iffy at times. Has the Oki to work with. The neutral jumps back to back.
Oh my goodness, Sleeping Lion with these just hard callouts on the wake-up options. You're gonna wake up, I'm gonna jump, big whip punish. I'm just saying, Sleeping Lion, much more aggressive than we were expecting to see, but enough. Definitely enough to make it work.
You know, as someone who's put a lot of time into Nightwolf, it makes me really happy that throughout OCE and now in EU, we've had Nightwolf in top 8, and both players have been really aggressive with the character as well. It's super cool to see because he's like a character that's I think always entertaining to watch, but he isn't like widely played as much as we see like in competitive. But every time you do see a Nightwolf kind of like pull out these different things, it's always really interesting because I feel like there's quite a few different loadouts. I mean, his competitive variations are still good, but there's a lot of flexibility and like preference of play when it comes to Nightwolf. He's not a very like one-dimensional character.
No, I feel like there are a few characters like that, and it is largely in part why I assume we don't see as much of them competitively, because if you were going to play a character like Nightwolf, I would compare him to almost like a Kotal Khan or a Kano, where the characters are very strong, but you can't just play one loadout and that's it, right? Like, thanks to custom, you have the option, but you're meant to play a bunch of... Oh my goodness! That is a crushing blow you do not see here every now and then. My word. But I feel like it really isn't to play, you know, yeah, if you want to specialize in a character, you're going to need a bunch of different loadouts ready to go. But in this case, Sleeping Lion plays Nightwolf for a specific reason, so in this case, he might just need this one variation that we see from him all the time.
And right now, these missed hit confirms into the charging hell spawn, the ones that are going into Necroboss instead. Val's losing a lot of damage, like a lot of potential damage on the table, where he's kind of losing in terms of damage in the neutral. So missing out on those confirms is being kind of detrimental to him overall, as he's usually on the back foot with the health deficit, and you can't really take these projectile trades.
And the forward movement you score normally quite good when it comes to forward dashing, but the slow recovery of the fireballs, slow recovering buttons, does leave him quite susceptible to fireballs, especially something like lightning arrows. Very minus on block, but from this range it won't really matter.
Yep, oh, the jump 2 just whiffed.
And the open up.
Yeah, not gonna matter.
Nightwolf, that 1-1-1 game, so dangerous, man. That's so hard to deal with, especially when you're down on life. The pressure's adding up.
Yeah, I mean it's effectively like a true shimmy online. It feels like it's one of those scarier tools, like when you put him in this environment. But right now, you know, Sleeping Lion rather has the corner position to work with. He's got the health deficit. A couple good hits though in the corner against Nightwolf with that Rising Tomahawk is going to really put you down on some health. Overcommitment straight away, nice confirm, forcing the breakaway as well.
Oh, big neutral duck, and again Sleeping Lion, he's got the lead, he wants something big. Oh, but the amplifier gets through.
Sleeping Lion looking for a moment, didn't get the trip guard, but got the forward throw, and he's got Oki.
Oh, the wake up down 4 again though, just to get in the way of the overhead. Okay.
I really like the decision.
Let's go.
It's in that situation, forward 2 really is the biggest damage you're gonna get, and that was probably Lion's like best answer at a comeback right there. So instantly stuffed by Val, and that was an excellent confirm into that charging hell spawn, forcing the breakaway from Sleeping Lion.
Val, he's down on match point. He needs to get this round to stay in the set, and he's doing a good job so far. He managed to establish that life lead. Sleeping Lion has to come to him now. We're seeing it. Now the question is, does Spawn do as good of a job at stopping and advancing Nightwolf as vice versa? I don't know if I'd think so. I feel like Nightwolf has that really good forward movement. Oh, the punish on the roll, and now Val is cornered. Optimal?
Absolutely max range as well. 338 damage, but Val gets the forward throw.
Serious trouble. Wait, that reset! Wait. That wasn't a combo. No! That wasn't a combo. Val dropped it. Val went for the jump in into standing button straight into the the restand, presumably for just unbreakable damage, but Sleeping Lion was doing something in between the jump in and the button on a hit and got opened up and died because of it. That reset, I definitely don't think it was intentional, and it certainly would not have killed otherwise.
Yeah,
that was
I mean,
definitely a huge mistake on Sleeping Lion's part.
I can't like realistically see that reset having like being an actual reset, because it was really just like a jumped button into a 4-2-3, wasn't it? So yeah, in that sense it really was a combo drop. But Sleeping Lion, honestly, maybe I've been holding down, I've been trying to jump, or just, you know, honestly disrespect something just in case he overcommitted and dropped, because obviously Spawn's got like bad recovery frames. Might have been looking for something over there, and kind of just trusting the guy.
I don't know. What we saw Val go for was the highest unbreakable damage, so I can only assume that's what he was trying to go for. But Sleeping Lion, he's going to have to shake that off. A huge mistake, to be sure. We're in loser's bracket. You're losing here means you are done. You're out of the tournament.
Oh, they're really nice challenge as well.
On match point 2.
He's switched over to the orbiting hat now as well. Not rocking the same buzzsaw that we saw earlier on, as he's gone over to Kung Lao instead of Nightwolf this time.
But to see Sleeping Lion spend all of his bar on the double orbiting hat and then immediately do a dive kick on block, that really is a testament to the risks that he is willing to take, especially this late into the set. That one was a whiff punish. That one is a bit more, you know, less risky, as you can see it.
Yeah, for sure. He really likes these jump kicks in the corner as well. Val finding it a bit difficult to deal with.
That's enough.
That is.
Oh no, not quite. Oh, there it is. Just a jump forward. When you've got that much bar, you know Sleeping Lion's not going to be afraid to throw out dive kicks, whether it's for mobility, whether it's for chip, whatever it might be. And yeah, fireball. Okay.
Alright, Val just playing it with his space. Doesn't need to commit to anything. Has a nice health lead right now. The bar is slowly regenerating. Almost getting that amplified necro shot back. Blast, rather.
I think that's where a lot of the damage is coming from, though. Now, that really is where Val is getting most of his damage. Is just this kind of runaway style of fireball, more so than anything else, because that's what's doing the job. Sleeping Lion is definitely getting clipped by a ton of these fireballs on the way in, and I think Val has realized it. You can really see the Sindel player in him, can't you? That kind of general approach.
All right,
that's a lot of chip.
Don't have to worry too much about being punished as well when it medias like that, but didn't get that punish on that throw whiff, and now it could spell disaster for him. And Sleeping Lion has him in the corner, gets a throw counter.
I see the fatal blow as well. Not even going to need it, but and the take throw. What a finish! Sleeping
yeah, that was dirty.
Yeah, that was one of the most unflattering positions you could be thrown in this game. I don't know. Any of those brutalities that happen, like when you just get like planted in the floor, like Cabal's got one, No Lau's got one. What a way to end the set. And for the first time in that set, actually, we saw Sleeping Lion go to the 2-floor king, that Sleeping Lion standard variation, which is basically just Lotus Fist. Again, it's the orbiting hat and the double orbiting hat. So Sleeping Lion, I will say, commendable to see him being a bit more experimental in that set, where we saw him going for a lot of options that I don't think we normally would see, where it's, Buzzsaw Kung Lao, we haven't seen from him in months. I say months, it's not even been months since customs became a thing, but a while, I'll say that. It's been a fair old while. And then the Nightwolf, of course, and then right back to the Kung Lao without hesitation. Like, I think we're definitely seeing a lot more experimentation. And I like that. I feel like this is the best version of MK11 to get experimental. Whether there are other characters you want to play or specific variations you want to try out or moves, this is the best time to do it, because everyone's been putting in that kind of moment, and I think this is where you'll see the rewards really begin to appear. That time is going to really see success in the long run, as we've seen from a lot of players that have been playing the board really in this version.
Yeah, Ultimate honestly really did bring a lot to the table with customs, being introduced into the meta in the competitive environment. It's really opened up a lot of horizons for people to really pick and choose what is comfortable for them, if they might not have gelled really well with one of the preset tournament variations that have already been established in the game, which is great to see. Honestly, I see some really interesting custom Shao Kahn loadouts these days, And that's always great to see. They're taking like his best tools and then putting them together. And that Wrath Hammer is honestly a pretty good projectile. So like you start to see things where characters that were usually regarded as maybe not so great. Now I'm not directly referencing Shao here, but like, you know, things like RoboCop has some pretty comfortable custom variations and stuff like that as well.
I would say he counts. No, I definitely think Shao Kahn is in that kind of bracket. I definitely think he's kind of one of those characters that doesn't have a tremendous amount of overall custom moves, but the ones he can put together, like they are good for him. You know, they do help him, albeit not in as much ways as other characters. But speaking of help, we would love to give a humongous thank you once again to Astro Gaming for being the official audio partner of the MK11 Pro competition. All of our caster audio is powered by Astro for the entirety of this season this year. You can visit astrogaming.com to find more information on all of their officially licensed PlayStation products, which are available now. But as you can probably hear, we are moving on to our winners finals, which is going to be the first time we're seeing Desarted for the day. Desarted versus Vityaz. This is going to be another one of those Russian showdowns. It's going to be Sonya on Desarted versus Shang Tsung of Desarted. Now, Desarted is one of the most interesting players, in my opinion, to watch in MK11 Ultimate. His, just again, ability to like have a ton of different loadouts and variations for Shang Tsung to cover the entire roster. You know, he has as many as he needs to cover the whole game. You know, matchup-wise, whether he needs certain moves here or there, he's got it covered. And with that comes a lot of variety. He's a very diverse Shang Tsung player. But still, this move right here, that lift, the force lift, that is the bread and butter for Desarted. Where he gets the most of his confirms, his damage, his jump kick game. So much reward from that.
Yeah, definitely. Desarted a very patented Shang Tsung player through and through. Now this is the, you know, the really like the calling, the when you have a character specialist that just has like all these loadouts, like you were saying before earlier on, having all these loadouts just to cover the various different matchups. And Shang, obviously, you know, a character that's still strong and honestly can benefit quite heavily from custom loadouts, because yeah, I mean the standard, right, the eruption and shake is already threatening enough, but a player like Desarted, who started out in Soul Eater, definitely favoring that Ermac force lift and making good use of it.
But think about it, like Soul Eater was effectively the same kind of approach that customs are doing now, where it took away, you know, to play Soul Eater took away the corpse drop, it took away the morph, that only left you with the fireball. So if you were playing Soul Eater, you were already playing Shang Tsung very different to everyone else to begin with. So to go for custom, it's like a extended version of that playstyle. Big punish here, force lift, we can see the fatal blow. No, we're just going to go for damage, and now the fatal blow will kill on cash out if Desarted so chooses. Will we see it? Ooh, hello.
Right now, just trying to play the corpse drop game from full screen.
Oh, and there's a trip guard.
Mission accomplished.
But the corpse drop has kind of historically been the projectile to give Sonya the biggest problems. However, you know, it has received a damage reduction in ultimate, so I'm not sure what we can say, but oh, the slide KB. Desarted with the range. Side switch for good measure as well. Not a bad way to play this one out.
That was really good presence of mind, knowing that he would get the KB. I'm pretty sure he knew that he would get KB from that range as well. That's why he let it rip straight away when the round started.
Yeah, for
sure. And he has a very dominant health lead right now.
There's no way that was just randomly done by Desarted. He saw the range, he knew it was KB distance, and he went for it. A big jump kick. Is there a better way for Desarted to end a game? You know, Desarted, the kind of self-confessed jump kick master with Shang Tsung. But when you've got the force lift behind you, like, it's there to be used, right? If you've got the lift, it's like one of the best moves in the game to OS off those jump kicks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the
heart's content.
Reward you get is insane. I mean, the jump kick OS definitely, you know, helped a lot of characters in so many different ways. You know, things like the Cabal jump kick into Nomad Dash OS and stuff like that. But when it comes to Soul Eater, this is something we've been seeing Desarted use time and time again throughout, you know, things like the Open Series, where he's just been consistently good at using jumps, like well-placed jumps anyway, and then pairing that with being able to effectively OS almost, you know, 100% of the time off of every jump kick, has just maximized any potential damage that you can get. He's able to play exactly how he wants. It makes it really frustrating for the other person to be on the receiving end of.
It's irritating, honestly, because he's so good at dealing with your jump kicks, yet he doesn't stop jumping at you because there's no way you're better at dealing with them than he is. And it's just one of those really one-sided playstyles that is it's just such a frustrating wall to be hit by. But, you know, talking more about just the character though, Desarted is a player that You know, we talk about him a lot on various tournaments as one of the most improved players of last year in the online space for this part of the world. And I firmly believe that. You know, he's been the Shang Tsung player the whole time, has gone from strength to strength in Open Series and other tournaments as well, now doing well in Pro Competition to no surprise to me, honestly. But even down to like the most recent Open Series, he was able to take it to players like Arn Kratos, who is widely considered the #1 Shang Tsung, and Desarted is here, doing exceptionally well against him, you know, really showcasing how much better Desarted has gotten over the last kind of 6 months particularly. And I definitely think we could see him go to Grand Finals today. If he keeps playing the way he is doing now, I definitely don't think it'll be too surprising to see it. Oh my god, what a pickup, a fatal blow!
Oh my goodness, that actually caught the armor. That was max range, and Desarted knew exactly what he was doing, catches out on that. Gets both defensive bars and takes the round for himself.
That's not an easy fatal blow to combo into either, because it looks like a strike, but it's 25 frames. Shang doesn't even move forward. It's a surprisingly short range blast. Like, that is a tricky fatal blow to juggle into consistently, let alone if you're trying to get it around breakaway timing as well.
Taking the rings KB this early on in the health bar when you already have the last round is really favorable for Desarted, to be honest. That's a really good situation for him, but that huge crossover from Vitya saying that they are not down and out of this yet, as they get the corner carry for a nice 35% with the back throw, almost going to close it out. Oh, it does actually get the kill.
Oh, you're gonna cry.
Not a bad way of ending it. The big problem though is losing the corner. Sonya does not want to play too much catch up against Shang Tsung, because you have to walk through the minefield that is the corpse drop. And the block as well. You have to remember, every time you get hit by that shake, you have to worry about the parry wake up follow up. Just remember, if you do get hit by a shake, and then you get hit by an amplified version back to back, it will crushing blow. Ooh, hello. Good block on the overhead again. But it's down 3. The best poke Sonya has by far, just establishing that space. Big punish!
What a punish. Alright, Vityaz with signs of life. Starting to come back in this.
He really needs this round. You don't want to go down 2-0, especially if the games are this close. Back throw again, Desarted. He did use the fatal blow to seal out his first round, so he doesn't have to worry about that instant comeback potential. Oh, but the buffer! What a buffer! Breakaway? No, he just accepts it. So the anti-air corpse tries to break away. Vityaz doing everything in his power to survive, but it's not enough. Desarted. Now, one thing that I absolutely love about Desarted, and I definitely don't want to feel like I'm putting Warlock players like on blast, but because Desarted kind of really learned Shang Tsung with Soul Eater, or like really optimized his Soul Eater Shang, I feel like when you're playing Soul Eater and you don't have Ground Eruption, you need to use more of Shang's kit to kind of really explore what the character can do. You need to use more standing threes. You need to use more of the other buttons, like, to really make the most of the space. Because Ground Eruption is like a one-size-fits-all neutral tool that a lot of Shang players use. And it is one of those moves that a lot of players will regard as one of those moves that just gets rid of neutral for a lot of characters. And I can see why. But if you're a Shang player that doesn't really use it, and you've got this really tidy, fundamental knowledge on Shang's buttons and how you use them, the ranges, you do see more buffers, you see more kind of, you know, swift whiff punishes with other options. And when you throw customs on top of that kind of Shang, it's dangerous. And Desarted has continued to show us exactly why that is. Now, Vityaz, we have seen him play a few other characters over time. Sonya and Cassie definitely are the two we've seen the most, but it looks like Vityaz is going to be sticking to his guns with the Sonya Blade.
And something about the buffering and kind of just the well-placed buttons about, you know, the way that Desarted plays and stuff. It kind of, it's a bit reminiscent of like the way that Jago Blake used to play Scorpion and MKX with the standing threes all the time. It's very like, it reminds me a lot of that. And I think it's really good because a lot of times, you know, when a Shang is so used to having things like Eruption, it doesn't always work out for them, but that was a really good clean jump over from Vityaz, blowing up the option on the corpse drop straight away, getting the...
One of the first times we've seen the marching orders jump kick actually be able to be used in this set as well, honestly. I feel like a lot of Sonya players will take marching orders, but sometimes you just can't get in the range that you can utilize it. However, Vityaz has the corner now, spend the bar, keep the same side, good damage ender. Oh, and the meaty poke as well. Desarted was trying something big there. Not going to kill on this, but now chip damage is a threat. Rolls out!
Alright, but a very crucial throw tech right there. The chip damage going to secure the round. Vityaz fighting back a lot harder this time. Down 2-0 is going to have to win the 3 next games with Sonya Blade, which isn't always the most fun thing to do. Dealing with Shang when they got that shake.
Oh no!
KB.
Yep. This is definitely getting from bad to worse. We're looking at maybe a 3-0 sweep if Decided can seal the deal here. Oh, walks up. I wonder if that was an attempt to flawless block. Regardless, though, gets that jump kick. OS, again, big damage. Over a quarter life gone now. She has barely anything left. Has the fatal blow, so we are going to see potential for damage. Are we going to see it here?
I think we are.
Yeah, I love this choice because this is definitely not going to kill, but it might at the very least put Desarted into strike throw kill territory, or maybe even still Fireball. Fireball should kill it. Despite with the drone, not quite enough. No way. Oh, and there it is, the patience. That was the first time in this entire set that Desarted has gone for the double shake reads. Now that smoke shake, we did mention it earlier in the set, but if you hit the shake, it does put you close enough to not only parry the move for a chunk of damage, but you're close enough to establish the threat of another one. If you amplify the shake, becomes a move that parries strikes as well as fireballs. So if you want to go for the double shake for the KB, it is a common thing, but the first time we've seen Desarted go for it. And Vityaz still with the knowledge, the awareness to read it, go for the jump, seize it, whiff punishes it with marching orders, job done, 2-1.
Yeah, Vityaz did really well to make the adaptations over the course of the past couple games as well. Seems to be playing a fair bit more comfortably, but Disarded has been playing really well throughout the entire top 8 so far. Not to say that Vityaz hasn't, it's just looking like it's still in Disarded's pocket. This is still, being controlled by him. I think that Vityaz is definitely starting to build some momentum, but the consistency so far, I think, lies with Disarded.
I mean, Desarted still winning. There's no two ways about it, Like, it was, it's not a 3-0 for him, but he's still up 2-1. It was a close game for Vityaz to show that he can get that game, because he was considering swapping off Sonya as well. So the fact that he stuck with Sonya and then won the game, that alone is going to do wonders for the confidence, I can imagine, if anything else. Ooh, not quite behind a big morale game. Yeah, so like it's going to be. We see Desarted already cornered. Oh, had to say it.
And there we see the OS off that jump kick.
Oh, the poke, the challenge. Oh, tries to anti-air, but this is Shang Tsung we're talking about. No anti-air for you as Desarted goes into another match point. He is dancing at the door of Grand Finals winner's side unless Vityaz makes something happen.
Unfortunately for him, he wasn't too close as well, where the down 2 knocked Vityaz out the corner. He still has the decent position, but the soul swap.
Oh, hello. Haven't seen Desarted to do this in a while. My goodness, even look at the chip of those. And the morphed Sonya. There's 2 Bridget Wilsons on my screen. What's going on?
This really is a 1995 fight right here with Kari Tagawa and Bridget Wilson fighting each other.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
The big confirm from Disarded, looking like he's about to take this one. Very low life on the side of Vityaz, and the 1-1 gonna close things out. Disarded moving into Grand Finals winner's side with a 3-1 performance.
Not bad at all. Disarded, he's one of the most improved players in this part of the world by far. I will stand firmly to that point. And with each event, whether it's pro competition, whether it's open series, we're always seeing Desarted make it, and he is always showing us exactly why he is so good in MK11 now. And we have Shang Tsung waiting on the winner's side of Grand Finals. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed so far, in pro competition across the board is, like, we're all seeing tier lists pop up. We're definitely seeing now Ultimate has been out for over a month. We've seen the new characters. We've been playing on this patch for a while, and we've seen customs get their competitive, kind of official competitive debut. Yeah, I feel like we're seeing a lot of opinions on the game, a lot of people thinking which characters are good, which characters maybe not so much. But we have continued to see a tremendous amount of character variety in MK11, and it's definitely been one of my favorite things about being involved in this game competitively, because that's not always the case. There's definitely a lot to be said about whether the game is truly balanced, because I know balance for a lot of people is subjective. What is balanced for person A might not necessarily mean balance for person B. But one thing that cannot be denied is the representation of pretty much every character in the game in tournaments for this game. And that, as a spectator, as a fan of the game, I love to see it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. This has definitely broadened the horizons that were, once kind of more streamlined. This is really, I mean, we've been seeing players like Dunax who have been playing Shao Kahn and stuff in competitive. We've been seeing like Robocop. I mean, we've been seeing Robocop before Ultimate dropped as well, because Arn Kratos obviously won the Open Series with Robo, but, there's other characters like Shiva's potential has just grown tremendously as well with customs.
I mean, one move, literally, we saw one move with Shiva in one tournament, and that by itself has maybe put the character in like a lot of people's like top 10, kind of top 5 question mark. Like, but that's what I mean, right? Like sometimes all it takes is one small change for a character to, in the eyes of the community. I don't mean like changes in terms of like patches, like the community tries something they didn't try before, and that's it, and the character is now seen in a different light, and I think that's really commendable. But what is also commendable is PlayStation's support for competitive MK11. I would love to take a moment to once again thank you to PS4 Tournaments and PlayStation, as the MK11 Pro competition is presented by PS4 Tournaments. You can check out the Open Series as well if you like the Pro competition and want to see more. Open Series is a great way of doing it. PS4 Tournaments, they are weekly competitions for all skill levels. You can compete against your friends and rivals for unique rewards. You can also visit the Competition Center, which is a one-stop shop destination for all MK content. It gives you an inside look at top players and various other things at compete.playstation.com. But we are moving into our 4th place matches. Okay, we are going to K-Top and Sleeping Lion. Losers bracket action again, but the big thing there, an immediate anti-air with just raw spin from Sleeping Lion. I think we're seeing some matchup knowledge here already in this round 1.
Definitely could be, and K-Top definitely a person that likes to play a variety of characters.
Well, I guess it's going back to us. Unfortunate. But no, you are right. K-Top has definitely played a bunch of different characters over time. An unfortunate connection hiccup there. We'll obviously wait for an admin decision as to what happened and what's going on there. We'll get the lobby remade, and we'll resume very soon. As this is we have good netcode in MK11, but online can still be online at times. Sometimes you are at the mercy of player connections and internet. We've all been in that situation where you're just at home and your internet just goes down for a few seconds. If you happen to be playing in a competitive tournament at the time, not the best time for it to happen, but it happens sometimes. We do our best, and we'll get you back into the game as soon as possible.
We will, and something that I kind of want to touch on something you were saying earlier when we were watching the winners final set about Disarded, and Disarded, as from what I remember, was effectively the student of Arn Kratos, which explains kind of why he's been leveling up so much with Shang, but it's really like I can't express this enough. There's certain players within EU across the board, East and West, who we've seen level up tremendously because the grind is very evident. Players like Sleeps Like Lion have been progressively just getting better and better, more consistent across the board. Omi is a name that we're seeing a lot more. Mr. Ramirez that we saw earlier as well. And, K-Top, returning player from what we knew from MKX and everything like that, has come back and still, just really strong. And I like the horizons that we have now, and also the new competition that's starting to come into the forefront that we didn't really have as much of before on this level, where it was so back and forth,
Yeah, I really love this, and to be honest, I never saw myself being able to say this, kind of like with how last year was shaping up to be. But I say this a lot, and I'll say it again. I feel that the MK community, whether it's the players, whether it's you lovely viewers at home, whether it's commentators, like everyone involved in competitive MK, definitely fell on their feet last year. With how things have been going with competitive for not only MK, but all fighting games. The FGC is one humongous community, but it's very offline focused. These major events, it's very much about in-person live events. And with the world situation stopping a lot of that from being able to happen for safety reasons, it does mean that online was going to be the replacement. And it looks like K-Top is back in the lobby, so we'll find out exactly what happened there, whether we're going to a restart or whether the score is affected. We will get confirmation very soon. Now it's the opposite way, so I guess we're not quite ready to go back into games just yet. But what I was saying is the fact that with what was happening last year, the fact that we've been able to kind of keep up with constant tournaments, whether it's not only things like Open Series, now Pro Competition, a humongous shout out to the community, the community side of MK11, for the amount of exhibitions, show matches, tournaments, whether it's leagues, whether it's one-off things. There are too many people for me to highlight and thank in the NRS community that do this. There are a lot of community contributors that really bend over backwards for the MK scene to provide this kind of online competition. And with the sheer quantity of online events that we have in this community, does come the players that really seize those opportunities with both hands. They enter every event, whether it's a smaller community thing, whether it's a larger community thing, whether it's more official things like pro competition here and there, open series, whatever it is. If you're constantly playing, you're constantly competing, that practice is inevitably going to add up. And you will look back at tournament footage from like 6 months ago and see, wow, I'm way better at this game. And everyone else is going to see that too. And I feel like there are players like the Desarteds, the K-Tops, in North America, we have players like the Mighty Unjust, that really are the epitome of that point. And I love to see it. With how last year was going, the fact that we're in this situation as a community, as with the player base, I'm super happy about it.
It only really feels like it's grown since then. It's like the offline, rather the fact that we couldn't really go offline, hasn't hindered the community growth. Seemingly, we've always got things running in the scene, which is honestly, like as you said, just great to see. There's so many individual parties out there that are doing so much for the community and for the community growth, and really just a lot of positive reinforcement because they're pushing the game that they like playing. And
hey, shout out to all of you guys out there. You know who you are. There's a lot of you folks out there that you do exhibitions and tournaments, and all the support. You know who you are. Thank you very much from us to you. We appreciate it as a community. We do hope we see more of it. As you are right, the community never slowed down. We are. I mean, here we are. We're talking on pro competition online. We are having open bracket tournaments, free to enter. We're getting, what was it, 800 entrants for North America East last time? I think it was the first week of North America East. It was like 800 signups in total. Like, there's a lot of people playing.
Something ludicrous like that. A lot of people playing in these tournaments, but honestly, since the economic climate in the world changed pretty drastically, I think everyone who is seizing these opportunities to just keep playing online tournaments, regardless of how they do, regardless of how they feel necessarily about the online environment, is only going to be beneficial. Like, I've been keeping a close eye on certain players within Europe who have really, really been grinding on this downtime, so to speak. And they've only been improving closer and closer, like reaching towards their goals. And that's great to see because it's a valuable experience. By the time offlines come back, who knows? Maybe you'll play better than you were playing in online, just because you're. I
would wager 100% that that's going to happen when we inevitably go back to being able to go offline again, whenever that may be. There will be so many players that have used this time to just compete, and when they've gotten readjusted to offline, they've gone into options and they've turned off the online input delay, and they're like, oh, this feels a little bit different. When they get past that initial point, I imagine there'll be a lot of players that will be a lot more successful, right? Whether it's the Josh TQs, the VGYs, the Mighty Unjust, the Pulses, the too many players.
See the Law Corridors offline.
I mean, there's a potential.
That would be something. That would be something.
But speaking of downtime, just a very brief update. It does look like the players are having some issues connecting to each other. This is an uncommon situation, but one that we will deal with nonetheless. Admins are doing everything they can to get the players in a lobby together, ready, connected, and ready to continue this tournament. So we do apologize for the wait, but we do thank you very much for your patience. We do want to see this match as much as you guys. So we do thank you very much for sticking around. We'll get back into this as soon as possible. And we will, I think the lobby is getting made as we speak another time. So we'll give it a go. And we'll definitely get to the bottom of it. But we do thank you again for your patience. But let's take a minute to talk about pro competition overall. We keep saying pro competition, but Falcon, walk me through it. What is pro competition 2021?
So the pro competition online over here is divided into three sub events. Essentially, they are all part of the pro competition online, but the Intercontinental Combat focuses on the regions which are Europe East, Europe West, the Middle East, and Oceania. All of them have their own regional matches, their own regional brackets, where they're all competing against each other in the regional finals. They're all really accumulating their points. The North American League is divided between North America East and West, with the top 16 of them, instead of the top 8, as it were, in the Intercontinental, will be advancing to the regional finals. And the Liga Latina, which is Brazil, Mexico, Latam North, and Latam Sur, is going to be the top 8 as well, just like the IKK, where these guys are going to be playing in their respective regional finals for a chance at 5K each on the IKK and Liga Latina, and 10K on the North American League.
A lot to play in. No matter where you are in the world, chances are you are covered in some way. And pro competition, it's all free to enter. That really is the thing I cannot stress enough. It is free to get involved. If you're sitting at home, and it looks like, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. You know, I'm going to wait for the match to actually begin before I say anything. But if you're watching at home, you like competitive, you want to get involved, or you've been playing a lot of time already, and you're like, how can I start competing? This is the way to do it. Pro competition, open series, compete.playstation.com. Would love to see you play. And it looks like, and I'm not going to finish saying it until we start. Okay, maybe. I think we're good to go. Yes. All right, I'm going to say it definitively. We are going. Here we go. Loser semifinals. Winner of this is in losers finals to fight. Let's go.
To finally get this underway, that max height up 3 rather, didn't get confirmed off of, but these down 3 pickups from Sleeping Lion right now, 30% in the corner, or just a little bit over that on this 950 HP character, has a big opportunity here, cashing out on the damage heavily.
I have a confession to make. Even though I've seen them play for years, I've only just realized that it's not K-Toad dope, it's K-Top8 dope.
You know, I was thinking this
I never read it like this before. I've always said K-Toad dope.
Round 2.
I have never realized. Okay, I get it now. Don't worry, K-Top8 dope. I'll never do it again. Now I know.
Until I see them at offlines, I'm just convinced they're either like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing, or they're like Harvey Dent, and they just suddenly switch between themselves just at the flick of a switch.
Oh dear. But what a round though for K-Top, a bit more to the point. This Jackie, so monstrous. Oh no! Is that gonna be enough to kill? Has he got dash punch KB? No.
Oh, this is really explosive right now. That grenade launcher did so much damage over time, gradually throughout that round. And K-Top just exploded all over Sleeping Lion, caught him whiffing and overcommitting just a bit too much.
That's the Jackie effect. One of the biggest characters that just gets in and just ends the round. You know, it's one of the reasons why she's so strong. The rush down, the options, the mobility, the staggers, the damage, the resource usage. Like, she's a tricky character to learn at first, but in the hands of players like K-Top that are no stranger to high execution, just fast-paced characters, this is just another day in the office. And K-Top really, really seeing a tremendous amount of success out of him now. And again, I really think a big part of it is the fact that he's kind of settled down on Jackie. You know, he plays a number of characters for sure. You know, we could still see the Jade, we could still see the Fujin, but this Jackie is the kind of main go-to now. I feel like there are a lot of players like that they play a bunch, but it's when they really focus on like which priority the characters will have. That's when they really go like, okay, now I really know what I'm playing and when. Let's go.
I wonder if there's an element of Nivek influence in this as well. You know, fellow Greekman and World Final Jackie player. But this is exactly, I mean, it's a very, very common Jackie loadout nowadays. But I wonder if there might have been anything in that regard as to maybe just learning the overall character. But to be honest, very strong through and through. It's good to see K-Top kind of just picking a.
Well, I remember. I remember seeing K-Top in his first event after Ultimate. He was still playing upgraded, so he was actually still playing like. Yeah, he was still going for the ground pound, so I definitely think you might have a point. I would like to think there must be some influence from Nivek, because Nivek is a bit of a guru for the Greek FGC, especially the NetherRealm community. Still like that back throw. Sleeping Lion took a lot of damage. Oh, tries to wake up jump, but there it is, the neutral jump. You'd say Sleeping Lion really likes those jump kicks in the corner, and we're seeing exactly why. So hard to deal with, especially on Oki. Oh,
getting a lot of mileage from them, but that jump in just about clipping Sleeping Lion a nice 35% right there on the board for K-Top. But right now, Sleeping Lion trying to fight his way out the corner, jumps his way out.
Now, speaking of jumping,
relentless
war is lava.
This is literally jumps like lion now. I refuse to believe otherwise. There's been about 6 jumps in a row.
I mean, it's true. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, the back throw. Escape failed, no less. Sleeping Lion now has that fatal blow again. Ooh, that was important. Oh, no pickup, didn't have the bar. Plus frames. No, he finishes the streak. Oh! Raw fatal blow to try to interrupt.
The fatal blow is just...
Oh, counter poke. It may have been. You know, actually, I think you may have a point. Oh, the instant. And the down... Wait. The down 3 hit the jump up that high?
The down 3, you know, it's they got that kind of like awkward hitbox, but it makes sense that it hits the jump. But he was like, Sleeping Lion was just outside of the grenade launcher range on the flame carpet, so he wasn't gonna die to the tick, but he got clipped by the poke.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not too surprised that Sleeping Lion is being so mobile. You know, he's playing against a character that if you do want to sit there and get too comfortable, before you know it, she's leaping all over you, and now you're dealing with damage over time that you're standing in. Like, you can never get too comfortable on defense against this character, especially against someone like K-Top. Corner combo now. Ah, big knockdown, even bigger damage. Plus frames. Oh, finishes the streak again. K-Top not really interested in the 1-1 game. Oh, and the grenade to the dome. K-Top 2-0 lead now. This has been quite a dominant set, I've got to say. K-Top looking relatively unchallenged today.
Yeah, Lion honestly was, his circumstances got significantly worse when the amplified interactable was let rip in the corner. Because like the moment that happened, he got clipped out of it, it was not breaking that damage in the corner. And already being in that position against Jackie, you know, it kind of just made it really rough for himself with that one bad call. But he is 2-0 down now. We haven't seen him, you know, completely give up in that sense. He's definitely been fighting back, but K-Top definitely has the upper hand right now.
I'm gonna have a look. I want to see who puts K-Top into losers, because he started this tournament in the losers bracket, but he's been playing so well. See if I can find the bracket, see who put him there, because I really want to know. Because this is a very tough region to play in pro competition, because when you have like, you know, it was Eastern Europe, all of CIS. Do basic?
No, it wasn't.
It
was not. It was. I'm going back further. This bracket got me mixed up.
I imagine it was quite a large bracket.
Round 1, fight.
My goodness. Regardless, though, K-Top, the important thing isn't about how he was playing yesterday to be in losers. The important thing is how he's bringing it back today. Oh, it was Val. He got put to losers by Val. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I've just seen it now. But he's, yeah, honestly, making full use of this opportunity, being in the losers bracket in the top 8. Does not want to squander that opportunity at all. He's going all in, and he's doing really well so far, trying to get the most points he can.
Oh, forward roll after that. Sleeping Lion, forever the momentum stealer, trying to get it working, but back to the wall now. Chip damage grenade. Oh, that has got to be low-key one of the cheekiest things that Jackie has. When you like finish that string on block into low fire and the fire doesn't connect, so it lands between your legs. So you just start taking the damage over time. So dirty.
Right now, okay, so we're gonna see some Oki from K-Top. He has the health deficit right now. Gonna have to be careful about getting opened up a couple more times. Right now, just using all of the advantage he can get, but that raw orbiting hat actually clipped. Didn't get the full combo punish. Sorry, the pickup off it.
It's definitely one of the more interesting confirming tools is the orbiting hat, especially if you do it raw. A lot of players aren't used to like individual specials by themselves close range.
And K-Top right now.
Are we gonna see him make this? Oh, you know what? I respect that. Just the raw fatal blow to potentially go through the orbiting hat. I see the idea there, but Sleeping Lion did the right thing. Played it a little bit safer. That's a bit more patient.
That's definitely the decision of someone that understands hitboxes very well. Like, it's one of like the edge of the shrapnel would catch the button or like catch the special. But right now, K-Top has the quarter position to work with Sleeps Like Lion. Doesn't get the pickup off that up three, but gets down to KB. Without any breakaway in this corner, that's going to end in a lot of pain right here. The flame carpet has not been set down yet.
Oh, after both amplified. Hey, oh my goodness, Sleeping Lion is going down swinging. Now that entire sequence,
highly rate that.
I mean, it's not even over. Yeah, this entire sequence isn't even over. But what this started from was bonkers. Surely not. No!
Oh,
no, it's Need! Oh, that is a heartbreaker. Oh,
I did not have the bar.
What a mess.
If he got the confirm, that orbiting hat was really good, but he didn't get the confirm. He just did the back throw off of it. I think he might have honestly been trying to fish for an escape failed, but the fact of the matter is really like it was pretty much disastrous for him after that missed opportunity. And K-Top moving on, so close. Really dominant performance.
No, GG's to K-Top, but that final round, oh, that was such a heartbreaker, because we truly went to what could have been a token Sleeping Lion crazy comeback, where he challenges plus frames when he's got like 5% left against a character that challenging plus frames completely just gets you killed. Then it's like a practically like max range jump distance raw fatal blow into back throw while standing in fire. Like there wasn't anything about that comeback that wasn't some crazy risk, and it was so close to paying off. But close, but not close enough. K-Top is going to be advancing through 2 losers finals, where he will fight against Vityaz for that grand final spot against Disarted. I can't believe we're actually already here. This has felt like the quickest top 8 I've done in a long time. I think that we've definitely had I think it's a combination of the fact that one of the players obviously wasn't able to play, and then a lot of sweeps. And I think we've already found ourselves here at Losers Finals. And we are quickly approaching the end to see who will be our second winner for the EU East side of Pro Competition in Week 2. But before we do finish off these matches, I do want to take one moment before we go to another break to set up these last few games to shout out to the merchandise for Pro Competition. If you want to go to amazon.com/Mortal Kombat, you can find merchandise based on, you can support individual parts of Pro Competition, whichever region it is you want to buy from. If there's something cool in this selection, head to the Amazon shop and pick it up. It's a good way of supporting Pro Competition, support your favorite players, support the league overall, and get some cool swaggy merchandise in the process. There's some really cool designs for shirts, hoodies, all the in-between. It's been a really good selection, and I hope you find something that you like. But from us, for now, we are going to be going to one more final break before we end things for EU East Week 2. So don't go anywhere. I want to thank you very much for tuning in so far, and I'm sure we'll see you in a few minutes' time when we return from this next break, where we'll get our losers finals and grand finals decided. We'll see you then.
See you to Continental Combat. My name is Ketchup, and I'm joined by the very talented Falcon. Happy to be joined by you, mate. And it's been a quick day. It has been a lightning fast day. We're about to go into our losers finals to find out who our second grand finalist will be, and then grand finals will be starting afterwards. You can see here it's Vityaz versus K-Top, and then Disarted sitting pretty in grand finals. Of these 3 players, who do you think has impressed you the most today, Falcon?
So far, I want to say Disarted, because his performance across the board has generally been really consistent. But K-Top, on the other hand, has been very explosive. In that last set against Sleeping Lion, he seemed to really just, like I was saying earlier to Mustard, he doesn't want to squander this opportunity. Having made it into the top 8 bracket and loser side, you can tell he's really fighting for as many points as he can. So I think he's quite the underdog in this matchup, but definitely not someone you can sleep on.
And we're moments away from being able to see more of it in action. But before we start our matchup, as always, I'd really like to shout out Astro for their support here in the Pro Competition, and the fact that Astro are the official audio partner for the Mortal Kombat 11 Pro Competition. All of the caster audio is powered by Astro throughout the entirety of the tour. And if you want more information on Astro products, especially their PS4 lineup, you can go to astrogaming.com for all the information that you need. And on that note, Falcon, I think it's about time we start our losers finals.
Yeah, and what a good one we are bound to have. Vityaz was doing really well at making the adaptations that he needed to against Disarted, but unfortunately didn't quite work out for him as well as he had hoped. So this is really the chance at the run back in grand finals, and I think Vityaz is really out for blood in this situation.
Looking at this character select, though, we had a... Okay, so this has to be hidden cursor. Yeah, this is absolutely the fact that we see a character and change. Vityaz has gone right. I think I'm going to change away, please. We saw Cassie, we saw Shang Tsung, and now, settling on this one, I do know that since Ultimate, and now you've got some more variations to choose from, Falcon, I think Hidden Cursor is a bit risky with a lot of players. Definitely getting the wrong variation in tournament. We've seen that before.
We totally haven't seen that before. Definitely not once.
No,
not on this note,
too many times at all.
Not being much of a factor. We're going to see pretty much just Digital Soldier Cassie playing off against the variation of K-Top of Jackie that we saw before, which is the very standard Jackie variation, I feel like, in this day and age with Ultimate Patch.
It's definitely what I think a lot of people are considering the Jackie variation. You can kind of swap that grenade launcher for other things, but I think that a lot of players, look, they just like that grenade launcher too much. You know, it's such a big part of the range and the damage. And it looks like right now, Vityaz able to somewhat reverse the pace, getting some of that corner position, going for the less obvious grab directions too, right? Content to throw K-Top out the corner and just play this mid-screen game.
Yeah, and I don't think Vityaz wanted to spend the bar in the kneecapping there just in case there was a break. And I think that was a pretty good decision right there. Has it now for when he needs it, and spending the interactable as well. I love that presence of mind to use that for the extra damage and guarantee the round. Now both characters are at 950 health, so that does mean that, you know, obviously you don't need as much damage, making the damage over time actually more threatening from Jackie.
Oh yeah, he's up for the trade. Not quite though. The back-to-back blast in the air, that grenade launcher, the sneaky stuff, being able to shrapnel cancel it anyway, just giving it the extra range and confirms. Nice little chunk of damage to take K-Top already. Looking to take this second round and bring us into a round 3, but the anti-air, Vityaz might have some other plans. There's that nutcracker immediately for the restand, and what comes next?
That was an exceptional confirm from Vityaz, challenging on that throw as well. The down one working out for them. Still has a fair bit of health to claw back through, but has the fatal blow on deck. If they need it, the KB spent
get rid of
the damage over time.
Oh my god! That's the classic right there. I jump in, you're gonna try an anti-air, eat this. In this case, it'll be a fatal blow, and Vityaz, I think, feeling pretty good about that one, being able to bring the comeback. And it was the smart stuff, Vulcan. The fact that what started that whole momentum was the counter hit, which gets rid of the goop on the floor. So there's no damage taken.
Definitely. That was just an excellent choice. I mean, I think really the call was to spend it there regardless, but the fact that it completely negated the damage over time just made it that much easier for Vityaz to kind of find his footing in the neutral, and then, you know, catching K-Top with the whiff punish fatal blow. That was the end of that game.
That was the gift that keeps on giving, that counter hit. So many different uses, and definitely something that when players, they start to learn the matchup, you start to see the value in things like crushing blows, especially counter hit, where a Jackie player puts the damage on the floor expecting you to kind of get a bunch of free damage anyway, and then these cinematics just getting rid of it. You know, we see it with Kotal Khan with the Sunray, we see it with Jackie, we see it with any character that can create those kind of obstacles. And it's becoming a very common kind of strategy here. But Vityaz continuing to play well. It's no wonder there's this Cassie, I think, in the back pocket for certain matchups. Because if you play Sonya, if you play Cassie, you're probably going to be a very kind of like, I think, fundamentally sound player. You know, you are going to have those kind of like the footsies, the reactions. You can't play Cassie and not have them.
Yeah, I agree with that. But cashing out on that crushing blow right there. Oh, didn't get got the dash under for the side switch, but the sending one went the wrong way, unfortunately for Vityaz. And a big confirm right here from K-Top, being incredibly explosive as we've seen him before, and a 4-1-2 confirm with the damage over time. That is murder, she wrote, with stealing away the first round as well for himself in a very quick manner.
Yeah, I think Vityaz was also, wow, okay, I was going to say pressing buttons on wake up near that round ending, looking for some kind of big payout, and then, speaking of big payout, we see a down 2 crushing blow immediately, but there's the counter hit again. K-Top making hard reads of his own, 25% just like that, and now the corner positioning, puts himself in the corner, but honestly with Jackie, she can get out of it in the dash, and that's exactly what she did there.
And that double grenade launcher being so threatening as well for when you want to try and challenge her when she's directly above you. Oh, the back 2-2 actually clipped in that space. I don't think K-Top was ready for that one. Trying to find a way to get the whiff punish on the down 2 though. This could be the end of the game if he doesn't drop this combo.
1% in it, which means if you're Jackie with the grenade launcher, may as well be no percent. The second you don't, like, I don't know, invincibility on wake up, although you're probably going to get hit when you're recovering. Maybe you can wake up jump, but it's a huge risk because you might chase it down. It's the grenade launcher, the ability to close out. You know, not every kind of damage over time effect in this game is actually able to kill you. That's one of the great benefits of grenade launcher, is that, you know, this doesn't force last breath or whatever. If you're standing in it, you're done. You know, the game or the round is over. It's a great tool.
Damage over time is an incredibly threatening tool that we've been seeing time and time again since Mortal Kombat 11 has come out. But just being able to secure games, you know, Aaron Black, Acid, Collector, Ground Fire, things like that. You know, the damage over time is being able to kill is a very threatening tool. And in that situation, K-Top knew exactly what he needed to do. He knew that ending in the 4-3, 4-1 3 was going to guarantee him the space that he could use that, you know, just on the ground to challenge anything that Vitchaz could have done. It was just over by that time. So now we're at 1-1 between both players. We've seen both players kind of like, you know, duke it out in their own respects. I don't feel like either player necessarily has the advantage right now. Ketchup, what do you think?
It is hard to say, isn't it? Because those Jackie rounds, K-Top, he's an aggressively minded player. You know, when he has to play that kind of rushdown style of character, it's no wonder he picked Jackie. So when these games go in this way, where Jackie just overwhelms, it's kind of like, okay, well, that's just what Jackie will do at this level of play. The question is, how does Vitchaz turn that around? You know, how do you kind of rise to that occasion when she's just as overwhelming as she currently is? And right now, looking to try and press, and just like that, K-Top catching another mid into a full combo, full confirm, 34% just like that, and now looking to side switch. I mean, I just think this is going to be a game of Vitchaz only really able to keep K-Top away for so long, and so he has to just really rely on his defense, which is so hard against Jackie.
Yeah, you know, there's only so patient you can be, really, when I try and keep her at bay, and Vitchaz doing a good job of fighting away the confirm from the 1-1-1 on the airborne target. The glow kick, closing it out, taking an important round for himself in this absolute slobber knocker of a set right now.
Yeah, not afraid to challenge. Counter hit, by the way, that's going to be a great start there for Vitchaz. Remember, losers finals. I mean, this is elimination territory. Only one more player able to get into the grand finals right here, and both players fighting hard for it so far. The immediate break to save not only crushing blow happening, but the damage of the combo and keeping the side switch. Oh, that mid. We actually have not seen that forward four much at all from Vitchaz. Hasn't built his game around it because it doesn't seem like he needs it. That's now a 2-1 for Vitchaz, who is playing fundamentally sound and is also, I think, not too shy of the matchup so far. Jackie Falcon, she's so overwhelming and she's so difficult to challenge. But if you have those kind of like small little bits of matchup knowledge, you know, when you can get a standing one, whether your character can standing one, whether you can anti her, you have to be prepared and willing, and Vitchaz quite fearless, I think, in that respect.
Yeah, something we saw from him as well when he was playing Sonya was that he's very aware of the character's tools and will definitely try and use all of the tools at his disposal. And we're seeing that a lot with Cassie. You know, there have been instances where he's tried to standing one at the wrong space and it gets clipped by the forward 1-2s by Jackie. But right now, being thrown into a completely different matchup over here, a different style of play, maybe that defensive play that we've seen Vitchaz on this entire time, might not help him too much against Jade, but we'll have to see how he handles the matchup itself.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this at the very beginning during the character select. We almost saw a hidden cursor because of it. K-Top went Jackie, saw the Cassie get picked, and then went Jade, saw the Shang Tsung, and then, you know, didn't do anything. So I think this was... almost a matchup.
That was a heck of a call-out.
I mean, it always is. When you're feeling yourself and you're about to take that win, it's like, right, I'm just going to go all out immediately. Get you thinking, get you sweating.
That is true. Now, we see K-Top has walked himself into the corner, so albeit you do have the glow, yes, you're still in a dangerous spot. You know, you can't really fight your way out of that unless you're successful on your hits with the forward block OS on that jump kick.
That nice up two as well. You want to jump in? Eat this anti-air, mate. Oh, that was a duck for the nitro kick. Looking for a big read. A bit scrambly. Falcon, it's got to be said who's going to come off better in this one. K-Top anti-ed. No, the edge light comes up with the drop.
Vitchaz is finding all the hits that he needs to find right now. Oh, he's glow.
Right, this is a hard read, and the K-Top, the moment he did that pole vault, he put himself in a guess for game and wasn't quite able to get the right call out there, Falcons. It's now match point for Vitchaz. Looking like he's one round away from that grand finals. Can he pull it off, though? He's so close.
Looking like he really wants to run back against Disarted as well. And lest we forget, it was actually Vityas's teammate that put Kate up into losers, Val, as well. Adelia's dance being ever so oppressive in the corner, very difficult to deal with. You know, +8 on it, safe on block if you spend the bar. And the armor break.
Didn't have the meter to amp, but at this point it doesn't matter. That back 3 hitting nice and meaty. An opportunity for K-Top to bring himself back in, and as you were quite rightly saying before he rudely interrupted you with that armor break, it's just like the Delia's dance in the corner. You lose the combo conversions, but it keeps a lot of momentum, and that is what
+8
it's about.
restands in this game is actually scary when you consider the fact that other restands are about +4, +5. It's one you're forced to respect, and with an 11 frame mid, you know, she's essentially just keeping you in that guessing game. But right now we're playing a mid screen and we don't have the corner to worry about or even Delia's dance. For that matter, with the KB catching the pole
ball
straight away.
It did manage to turn off the glow as well, that KB. K-Top forced to go for it almost immediately, tries to whip punish the pole vault on block, tries to counter poke with fatal blow, but the armor was not available. A bad trade as well for the Greek because he's now 1 hit away. There's that wiggle stick, needs a bit more than that. Over commits to the back 3-4-3-4 and pays the price. The Jazz moving on into grand finals here. We're going to see some Desarted action. We're going to see some more Cassie, maybe some Sonya. It depends, really, because Shang Tsung versus some of these characters is a bit of an interesting matchup, to say the least.
Yeah, now I'm no Sonya player by any means, but you know, I speak to a pretty proficient Sonya player, Op, and he really doesn't like the Shang matchup. You know, there's multiple different factors that can make it a very difficult. Just a series of situations that Sonya really doesn't want to deal with in the neutral.
I've never spoken to a single Sonya player that has ever enjoyed the matchup. Whether you've spoken to Dizzy, TT, Orp, and the absolute ton of Sonya players, they've all been like, "Oh, Shang, oh, that's a matchup I'd rather not play."
And it's funny because that's like pretty much outside of just Sonya as well. As I feel like most people are just like hear the name Shang and they're like, I'd rather not. And
he's got a lot of winning matchups, doesn't he? He does.
He's a pretty strong character, and I feel like with custom Shang, there's so many flexible ways of playing neutral with him, because the difference between, you know, like what I was discussing with Mustard earlier between Force Lift and Eruption can change a lot of different aspects of neutral itself. But Vityas played a really good Cassie, so I'm curious to see if maybe Cassie is just more favorable against Shang, but I really don't know how that matchup goes either. I'm not nearly
I can only assume
on Cassie alone.
That's why Vityas plays multiple characters, because you do. If you are a character, you know, element of a character loyalty, you've got a main, right? You've got a favorite character, but there are certain matchups which you'd very much rather not play. Having that kind of strong secondary, that backup, it's something that's been prominent in Mortal Kombat for many, many, many years. Where, look, if your favorite character just so happens to be a character that doesn't win versus everyone, or at least can't hang against everyone, then you need to make sure that you have the peace of mind with that character to know not to use that character for certain matches. And that's where secondary...
Yeah, there comes a time where, you know, the character loyalty will come back to bite you in the backside. And especially when the character that you're loyal to isn't particularly regarded as like, a top 3 character, a top 5 character, or anything like that. Who would generally kind of, a rule of thumb would be like they would generally be able to deal with most of the characters at a default level. But when you're playing a character, you know, say for example, if you're like a Shao Kahn loyalist in this day and age, life is kind of a bit more rough. But Ultimate has made it a little bit easier for you to pick and choose how you want to play the different tools and different matchups. But we are.
I've been a big fan of customs. The customs coming through for me is just allowing character specialists to be character specialists. It's been a bit more likely, I think, and as you quite rightly pointed out, we do see the Cassie, and it is entirely, I think, because Vityas will not want to play Sonya versus Shang. However, we can see this other element of Desarted going in with the not quite shapeshifters training, and there's a reason for that. He's going in with the 3 morphs that he knows he's going to use, while at the same time not having to take shapeshifters training because he keeps the corpse drop. So we kind of get to the best of both worlds here. And here we go. Falcon, it's going to be grand finals. Desarted, who has been an up-and-coming Shang Tsung for a very long time. I would say at least, top 3 in the world, maybe even more. And we start off with the knowledge, jumping out of the corpse drop and getting that jump in punish. This could be a juicy grand finals.
I totally agree with you on that one, Ketchup. Now, Desarted's really cheeky for trying that 4-2-4 into the close corpse drop, because he did the same thing to Vityaz in the winners finals, and Vityaz answered straight away with the with Sonya's air kick, and then punished him the exact same way. So I think being a bit cheeky and checking him in the beginning to see if he would still answer it the same was probably a good, like, a bit of information for Desarted to have. But right now, he is with the health lead. He does have the corner. Oh, as I say, he gets thrown out the corner. Not much to worry about in that sense anymore, but he does have the fatal blow on lock if he does need it.
Oh, can't hit! That's not going to be enough, though. It will be just enough. Wow, I was almost convinced that he was going to be just shy of being able to take that one. And Vityaz getting, again, the less obvious. Whenever you see Vityaz with the Cassie, I feel like he's just so content to not have you in the corner sometimes, because he'd rather be mid-screen. Rare footage of Desarted doing a jump kick, not into the Ermac option select. Normally, bang on the money for that one. Half-Life already gone here. Desarted has the advantage at range. Oh my god! My man reacted to that one.
Yeah, looking like he's in a really good position right now. Vityaz has his throw teched, but right now he is at 950 health. He is at a bit of a health deficit, but he's got a good positioning to work with. If he can keep Desarted locked down, he could potentially turn this in his favor.
Jump in, Ermac out of nowhere. Vityaz has to go for the break. And the thing is, the breaker was quite risky. Looking for the short hop. Testing the knowledge. Vityaz confident in maybe taking the round, but I think that break with the incoming uppercut was a bit greedy pass.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you can tell he really wants these individual wins on like the rounds. He's trying to make it matter. No flawless block challenge on the 4-2-4-2, but a nice anti-air gets broken away. Didn't overcommit with the kneecap, and now finding one for himself. So he's gonna confirm this one into a nice 29% almost, just over there.
Another one, though, using the corpse drop up close, but off different strings to kind of mess with the timing. Speaking of messing with the timing, here comes the straight pistols. And nowhere amplified for those plus frames. The neutral jump, and there's no way Desarted can challenge. Can't break even if he wanted to. Nutcracker, and now Desarted having to make a full life comeback. But those that have seen Desarted play in the past, you know he can pull off these crazy comebacks. Almost had an opportunity to short hop over the down 4. Okay, he's going to heal a couple of percent. 7% left in the tank. The 1-1 blocks the wake up 3. Lovely tech from Vityaz, but can he pull this one off? Plus frames. Challenges it.
That was very risky from Desarted to use that string as well. Going to end in the fatal blow for as much raw damage as he can get out right now. He knew Vityaz didn't have the bar to break, but he's frankly not going to get more than this off a touch, and he can't afford to take another one for himself. This is now do or die for both players in this situation.
The mix!
And oh, the flawless block is really important.
No! And he jumps in! He makes the call out, but just at the wrong timing, Falcon. He had the right idea. He dedicated to the back one reptile. You're not going to block overhead in this situation. You'd be crazy to do that. And that's where it comes through.
Because that was the definite kill, right? Like the reptile KB was kind of the only thing that would work for you in that situation to get more damage. But the fuzzy is a tough fuzzy anyway, let alone doing it online. So if memory serves me correctly, I think it's a 2-frame fuzzy. But right there, it was so neck and neck, and I think the decision to go for the straight guns was just a really good choice. I mean, Desarted's a player that likes to use jump kicks a lot, and getting clipped by one of them at the wrong time into an OS into an Ermac lift, that would have been game.
And then he had the smoke shake preemptively for the kneecapping, and right as it disappears, that's where the kneecapping comes out. If he held it down for a second longer, that would have been game over. But I mean, it's a hard read anyway to do the shake. Holding it, you had to be a madman. He needed hindsight. We're only able to sit here having watched the outcome to say, oh, he should have held it, because in the heat of the moment there were a million things you could have done right there. But as this is a double elimination tournament, you know, Vityaz is coming in from the losers bracket. That's game 1, 2 more of those, and we're resetting things. Desarted has to win this 3 out of 5, and that's it. Now on the winners bracket, you've got less work to do, but there's the immediate read in the standing 3 with punish out. It's crispy.
The fact that he ducked as soon as the game started is such a big call out, honestly. Like, I don't think Vityaz has started with anything that's necessarily a high, so this means Desarted is so far into the mind game that he's already aware of what he's going to do, and his swift punish forcing the breakaway on that shoulder charge.
Now one thing that you do see a lot here from Desarted Now, we haven't really seen it since Ultimate because he doesn't take the Rain super kick anymore, but that forward 2 into Rain super kick confirmed, that was something that he had on lockdown. But obviously, the forward 2 on its own, you just lose that utility when you don't have the super kick. Tries to punish and gets hit by a neutral jump. There's no way he's feeling good about that one, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get standing 1, uppercut, round win. That was a close one, Vulcan. That was.
That really was. Now, I question if... Does Cassie's 1-1-1 not true combo into the Fatal Blow? Because that was surely the round for him if it does, right? Maybe it doesn't. Like, I mean, he obviously knows Cassie better than I do, but I think I want to think about that.
I'm trying to think about whether I've seen it before, because I know we used to see the Ash Queen, right? It was 1-1-1 stun into some kind of button Fatal Blow. I'm just definitely drawing a blank on what button that was, as I don't play Cassie myself.
Yeah, it was the drone burst into like back 3 Fatal, I think.
Yeah, or like forward 4 or something as well. You see a lot of that stuff. However, making the hard call out, but at the very least, maybe Vichaz able to get to a safe distance. Here comes Ermac though, and every time that Ermac connects, you're taking quarter life. My friend!
Oh my goodness! That was insane! Like, I feel like that was intentional, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt to say it was intentional, because that was just sick.
But it was only part 1! Didn't have meter to amplify. Goes in for the charge. There's the jump in again! Oh, the grab hits, but he'll survive barely. No, he will not! That must have just been the right amount. The right perfect amount, down to the percent. The fact that Vichaz was able to somehow bring that one back. There's the whip punish. Definitely fishing for the mix-up. The Ermac out of nowhere. And that's just a down 2 to say, give it to me. I want it. Oh!
Vichaz definitely was shifting in that last round, but right now, Discarded has a significant healthy right now. That was a really smart choice. If that had worked, honestly, I feel like there's some tech, hidden there about catching the second gunshot.
Sure there is. Discarded is an absolute scientist of the character. You know, if there is some kind of weird matchup tech,
there it is.
Glorious.
His corpse drop's gonna attack on a barrier. No breakaway though, he's got himself in the corner though, Ketchup. This is potentially really dangerous. Low profile's the jump in.
The release block tech.
Last second.
It's something that the Russian players are really starting to use an absolute ton, that release block tech to make jump ins win. 1-1-2 plus frames.
Shoulder charge.
And that's the 1.
Just like that. Discarded, answering back. But Vichaz seems honestly just infinitely more comfortable playing Cassie in this matchup comparatively to what we saw in the winners finals. This seems like a completely different Vichaz. It's like the set against K-Top kind of just awoke something within them, because we're seeing them play just a lot better just across the board. You know, the call-outs, the decision making in general, the fundamental choices. There's a lot of different components that we can point out. But the fact of the matter is, right now we are at an even score. And
now,
is better
here's the thing. That's definitely the correct. I think, you know, when we think about even score in a grand finals where technically it's 1-1, because it is, you know, it is technically correct for sure. But then we look at the long game of this. How Vichaz, if it's 1-1 right now, Decided needs to win 2 games, and that's just it. The tournament is over. You know, the job is done. For Vichaz, for the next 2 games, only half the job is done. So there's whether you're able to rise to this occasion, how familiar you are with the grand finals. I think Decided, I definitely think is going into this not just on winner side advantage, but advantage in general, because if anyone has been seeing the PS4 Tournaments Open Series, ouch, you'll know that Decided has been in many grand finals. He's been there, done that on winners and losers side. So this is not an uncomfortable position for him to be in.
And right now he is doing a lot of damage, using that stand 3 at the max range. Really good choice. And he challenged on the jump in the Injustice style anti-airs with that instant air to air.
As we now start to push forward, leaves the forward 2-4 on its own, doesn't want to overcommit to any kind of other options perhaps. Doesn't want to give you an opportunity to flawless block and maybe put yourself out of the corner. The reverse grab there, Vichaz. Another whiff punish, but didn't commit to the standing 3. But the Ermac clip whiff punish! You cannot stick buttons out against this guy. Ermac's going to come out, and he's not going to be very happy about it.
8% for the bar, though, not too much for Vichaz, and I feel like there's a certain element of, reads that Vichaz is trying to make, which unfortunately just aren't happening with the back throw at the corner. Unfortunately, just losing that good positioning for yourself.
It looks like he's starting to enforce once more. The back one slide. It'll be so easy to look at that and go, why do people always get hit by the slide? The overhead on its own, that's crushing blow launch. It is far more punishing to get hit by the overhead than the low slide, so sometimes players will just take it. You know, they'll just be content with the damage.
It's just honestly like far less intimidating in the grand scheme of things. I think Vitya has a quick rise over there. If you notice that little thing where he stood up real quick just as the jump kick came down. I think he might have been trying to get the OS on the flawless block on it. But right now he's in the driver's seat. He's got a nice health lead.
Make up standing one. I think perhaps that could have been an Ermac lift attempt. Maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of work now to do for the Shang Tsung, who has just been given Fatal Blow, but another comeback. No, an attempt. Tries to interrupt with the Fatal Blow, maybe using the armor. Signs of desperation, perhaps. The back one into slide, so much more is needed here. Short hop, started. There was a big ask to pull off a comeback of that caliber, but now Vichaz 2-1 here, Falcon. 1 game away from a bracket reset.
Yeah, Vichaz is playing so much better than we saw before. Disarded was obviously trying to make some reads and looked a bit flustered at the end of that round. And Vichaz just capitalized on everything. Seems cool as a cucumber right now. Not hesitating to really trust the gut feelings. And Disarded right now seems to sort of be a little bit lost catch-up.
Yeah, especially in that round. There's one thing about Disarded which has always been present, is that his level of clutch and dedication to these kind of big comebacks that he makes, that's all been a work in progress. It's taken him a long time to reach this level of comfort. I remember when we first started to see Disarded, it was many months ago during the Open Series for PS4 tournaments, where he would get kind of, he'd get top 8, he'd qualify for the Invitational on the Tuesday, and then he'd kind of get joint 5th, and that would be where his journey ends. Maybe he'll lose the first game of winners, move on first round losers, and then after that maybe he'll fall short, before the top 4 begins. And that was him for a while. Got that one top 3 1 week, and he just descended in confidence. But my point is that he has always been about progress, all progress.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing I was going to say. He really is just a testament to the grind and the kind of success that it can really bring when you're just actively competing, actively playing and learning from your mistakes, as it's very evident with how people have been improving over time. They alter their gameplay and they tighten it all up. We're seeing generally just a lot stronger competition across the board from Europe as a whole.
Oh, without question. I do not think that Disarded this time last year would be in a grand finals of a pro competition event, online or offline, because it's just, he wasn't ready. He was not ready for this, but as we now push forward, we can see this round looking much better for him, as Vichaz, technically down on life here, but we've seen some pretty impressive comebacks from him all day long. This one's going to be kind of hard, though, as there's no last breath available. Just about to build that 1 bar, which now means 1 hit to be taken, but you have to dedicate, right? Ride or die. This is it. Oh, he goes for the KB.
I mean, I do like the decision to just go for the 3-ender over there. If you did get the KB, you had the positioning and a nice little chunk of damage to make the comeback just a little bit easier. But as I was saying in the last game right there, Vichaz opts to just throw out of the corner. And, Cassie's not going to get KBs on the throws. So I question the decision as to keep him out of the corner. I feel like generally it would be a little bit easier for Cassie in that sense, but maybe he just prefers playing the mid-screen game, just the neutral.
There's always that preemptive short hop, which, if you do a stand-alone corpse drop and the short hop trying to beat it, it does kind of give you elements of a jump in. Not completely for free, but it does create that interesting situation. And again, mixing it up. See there, the instant jump again, just in case you try and jump in. He wanted to try and maybe air to air you preemptively, letting the whole string rock. He wasn't going to get any other conversions, actually. I like that decision. And now the corner pressure.
Yeah, that's how you know someone's used to the character.
Oh! One more. What's it going to be? The 1-1, the down one, started. He's going to heal a couple of percent. Just shy of 7% left in the tank, and that's actually the game over.
Goodness.
Hail blow. Space. Oh, not needed. It's just going to be an uppercut. Falcon just started.
My goodness, catch up.
Just don't get hit. That's it. You can't get hit by anything.
You can never truly count this guy out. And he's able to use these jump kicks in these really clutch moments, and these OSs are doing absolute wonders for him. The Ermac confirm is just, it's a nice source of damage. You're getting like 26%, which is just a little bit more than that on a 950 HP character like Cassie. And that's crazy, just off a successful, already really good jump 3. You're cashing out with 26%, give or take. for the bar, you know, every single time. So he kind of is just gradually chipping away at the health bar, and he's finding a lot of mileage just off the successful hits in that sense. Whereas Vichaz seems to be committing to a lot of reads, trying to do a lot of staggers, which has been working for him before, but Desarded's beginning to challenge them a lot more.
Now, with where we're at, a wide amount, I think, rides on this one match, right? This is either going to be the tournament ends, or we only just finished the first half. That's where things get interesting. If there's a reset here, we're going to ask that question, who has more stamina in tournament? Whereas to start it, there's just going to be that immediate objective to just get that last win. Again, the smoke shake, but releases it frames too early, as it's a knockdown from Vichaz as an opportunity to come forward. The low as well. Half-life already gone in this round, charging up those gut shots, and the corner pressure, so good.
I like this really mild adaptation from Vichaz to use the back one a lot more in the corner. I hope that now he's maybe favoring the corner position or something like that, making it just harder for Desarded to try and work his way out. Nice block. Oh, get the punish on the reptile slide. It's a forward 2 or a back 2 punish, I believe. But
that
maybe
is a clean round.
This is potentially the make or break situation right now for Vichaz. A lot is riding on this one round of win that he needs to secure. Desarded,
the jump
not
hit
out of it.
I'm getting significantly more nervous every time we see one of those close range exchanges. The whiffed smoke! Trying to play these hard reads. The counter hit already spent. Now that's going to be gone. Vichaz looking a bit more comfortable, and there's a full jump in, correct? Oh my god, let the whole string go on it!
Short hop was a bit unnecessarily risky right there. 26% for Desarded, but a big opportunity for Vichaz. Gets the throw.
Now with the fatal blow ready, all Shang Tsung has to do is hit you twice. That's it. One of them into fatal blow, and the other any confirm at all. Whiff punish. No!
Oh my goodness. That could have been a huge whiff punish with a 1-1-4, but we just didn't see it happen from Desarded. And Vichaz resetting the bracket, tying it up back again to 0-0, clawing his way through losers and forcing the next set.
Now, I asked the question before. If we get a reset, the question comes in of who has more stamina in this kind of setting.
Yeah.
Because either this is, if you're Vichaz, you're sitting there thinking, right, pumped. I just won the game in that fashion, I'd like to add. You know, a dominant game to win. And then it's right, let's do it again. Full throttle all the way forward. And if you're Desarded, I kind of feel like I know how Desarded kind of feels about some of these tournaments, and there's always an element that maybe there's this small bit where Desarded's thinking like, oh, you're so close, and now you've got to do it all again. You know, like it really is so many different mindsets that happen when a reset takes place. Like I cannot undersell that.
There are, and curiously, I think it always, you know, obviously it's going to vary from player to player, but I feel like a good choice generally, you know, to make when you're in this kind of situation is just to reset the mental, because the adaptation that you were making and stuff in the past set before the reset are still like important. It's all important. But really, if you let that kind of hinder your performance going into the games after the reset, that's really where we see the loser sweeps just happen, is when the morale of the person who was in winners and got reset has significantly dropped.
Oh yeah, because the player in the losers bracket, you know, you just have to win fresh off losers finals going into grand finals. You've warmed up, you're good, you're feeling there, and then you just get a reset in this fashion with Vichaz. You can see this momentum already coming forward. The anti-air gunshots, like this is the exact same level of preparation. Vichaz, although getting caught in the chin, that's definitely one way, and the break. And one of those breakaways, that's unfortunate. Oh, Mac, not quite. No counter hit.
Yeah, I was really fortunate to Desarded as well to get the, you know, the down to making the right read over there. But right here, you're in danger territory in regards to the Ermac lift. You got to be careful about doing things like jumping in, because one of those into a simple confirm and you were dead without that breakaway.
That's why he did that jump in right there. Probably didn't plan on getting caught by the string though, and Vichaz trying to stay a little bit safer across frames. Expecting some kind of jump or button press perhaps, staying a bit safer. The whip punish from Ermac says, what are you doing? Put the guns away, Rain. I just came out. Kombat Pack 2, baby.
Round 2, fight.
And yeah, Desarded, honestly, right now, showing that he is not down and out for the count. This guy made Grand Finals winner side for a reason, and he's fighting back in a way that seems just harder for Vitchas to deal with right now.
Trying to go for those straight skulls. That kneecapping's gonna low profile all day. Oh, there's that reptile slide. We've seen Decide in tournament before, Falcon. He goes for those max range reptiles, gets the KB and a side switch.
That was a beautiful whiff punish with the 114, forces the breakaway, gonna get the OS. Oh, it dropped and gets punished for his troubles with the forward 2, 1+3. Very good presence of mind from Vitchas to use that in fancy punish. Cash out on the KB damage. But the fuzzy.
Betting the farm on it. As always, the down one, sure hop into 114, trying to be sneaky, but a confirm. No breakaway available, which gives Vitchas another round win, as in this first game. Cue the subway background and the subway music. Let's go!
Yeah, one of the GOAT stages, easily.
My favorite.
Right here, it's a top 3 for me. The back throw, yeah, doesn't have the corner position. Not going to matter too much right now. This is kind of, Vitchas' game to lose in this position. But this has gone really back and forth catch-up. We're seeing a lot of split decision-making that's capitalized on and doing very well for each player respectively.
I feel like this has every opportunity, and now the down 2. You can't really break, and Vitchas understanding that. The down 2's coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Ermac granting this degree of unbreakable damage is one of the extra elements that makes, I think, Ermac the most efficient board. The Smoke Shake or the Ermac Lift, there's always a bit of a toss-up between which one is better, arguably, but across the board, the damage and conversions and everything else that Ermac grants you, incredibly strong. And now the corpse drop! There's the jump! Whoa! He actually had the right idea, but does the wrong distance! If he did the further reaching one, surely that would have landed.
Yeah, that would have worked, and unfortunately for him, he just didn't believe enough, just chose the range wrong, and decided scoring that game for himself. Looking real good post reset, and Vitchas really has he's been doing significantly better, just in playing. But this seems to come down to both these players seem incredibly evenly matched at this point in time. I think Desarded's just kind of making the right call outs on when Vitchas wants to approach or when he wants to make the kneecappings or something. And it feels like the reads are just generally more favorable for Desarded because the Ermac lift, it's once you're confirmed into that, there's almost no point breaking after that. Just because the optimals, the dash up, micro dash stand 1, micro dash down 2, right? Like it may as well just come out on the breakaway anyway.
It's a weird mix-up because normally when you go to breakaway, you look at what do I think is going to happen if they're just going to uppercut on its own. In this instance, if you think the uppercut is coming, you don't break. If you make the hard read that the Shang Tsung player is going to do the standing 1 first, you can break it on a read of them doing a standing 1. So you take a standing 1 to wear the damage instead of a down 2. But that's it's so specific, isn't it? That it's not worth it. Just take the standing 1 and then whatever. Just save your meter.
Exactly. It's almost just unnecessary to break in the situation. But over here, no challenge on those plus frames. The gapped string right there with the jump over. Find a confirm and gets the breakaway, but yeah, 20% right there. Gets the punish on the shake. That's really important.
Yeah, hard read there from the side, thinking something was coming. Definitely wasn't that. Now there's the punish, the side twitching grab, important for Shang Tsung. You're so used to seeing Shang Tsung players rocking that ground eruption, but let me tell you, Ermac lift in the corner gives Shang Tsung some insane damage, which is why Desarded punished it with an untechable grab. Because now if he lands 2 touches, it's no break. Breaks late, but now you cannot get hit. If you get clipped here, that will be the round over. Pushing away. Oh, that's it!
Oh my goodness. Launch into the stand 1 fatal. That's all you need. Desarded. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the scaling is not gonna, destroy any chances of this guaranteeing the round. And also gets a nice bit of space to start walking himself back in the neutral going into the next round.
This is the benefit of Ermac Lift. It gives you the most practical applications for Fatal Blow. You can use it anywhere in a combo and the Fatal Blow will connect off of it, which is why I keep talking about the uses of the Lift. If you are that brawler Shang Tsung, if you want to fight up close, max range by the way, because here comes the crushing blow.
It's stuff like this, the very peculiar specific max range that only people who have used Reptile Slide enough are really that accustomed to that they can just Hail Mary it out. And the KB on the counter closing out the game. Disarded changing the pace of things, saying that Vityash may have reset the bracket, but he is going to try and win this grand finals.
That is Disarded feeling the momentum. I was a little bit nervous with how things went in that reset. Vityaz just completely steamrolling, felt a little bit like Disarded got into his own head, but quickly able to shrug it off, go for a you go right back into the next match, and you're all good to go. The swift 2-0 here for Disarded, where the corner was your home. Right there, you know, are you too good for your home? Answer me. Ermac Cliff at the very last minute to get that extra combo damage. It's so good.
Unreal. Can we add Happy Gilmore to MK?
Just different gear for all the different golf clubs.
Yes.
The super rare one would be it would be the super rare one would be the hockey puck, wouldn't it? It would be.
Oh yeah. Give him the ice skates and everything. But yeah, no, Disarded looking super confident in this after this reset right now. And it seemed like Vityash might be just taking this time to think. You know, I don't really think that Cassie was necessarily the losing factor for him, but perhaps all the adaptation that Disarded's had to make along the way to Cassie might not help him too much against Sonya just in that first game. Still gonna need a little bit of adjusting to.
This is that constant situation, right, where Disarded 2-0 up. Now, if you're Vityaz, you've done half of the hard work. You reset the bracket, but now you've got to do a reverse sweep. It's your only way to survive. And he has gone back into that Sonya, the original main. However, it's going to be an interesting matchup, you know, because we are going to have the corpse drop here, but different element. It's not going to be corpse drop in combination with ground eruption, which is, you know, both of those things that a lot of Sonya players dislike in the matchup. But the smoke shake and corpse drop, I mean, arguably does that even make it worse? Because now the block late, the forbidden crushing blow that you never see on the Ermac Cliff.
Absolutely forbidden. It's just so rare. It's like the triple straight skull. And the down to ender 24%, just a little bit over actually, probably about 25. 950 HP, stuck in the corner with only one round left to win. Disarded is in the driver's seat to win the pro competition online at the IKK week number 2 for EU East. But Vityaz gonna have to answer back.
Oh, there's that immediate back one. I mean, that's one way to answer back Vulcan is Disarded. He's been there so many times in open series, but this would be one hell of a result for him in the pro competition. His grind across the span of at least one whole year, you know, a constant grind and playing and entering tournaments. Now, as he finds himself one round away from the big win of week 2.
It would definitely be an intense morale boost, wouldn't it? Just to feel like you've just represented your region really well, but obviously both players over here hailing from the CIS regions. But right now, Disarded looking like he's... Oh my goodness!
Wait, she's 950 health. Is that not it?
950. I think it's done. Oh god.
That's it. That is enough for Disarded. The 950 nature of Sonya, the friendship coming out in Disarded after conceding the bracket reset for Vityaz, who, shout out to you, you know, for giving it one hell of a ride and giving...